everybody, if you hadn't noticed, I have a new channel name, and that is Jay the Nerd. Now what I'm about to tell you is actually pretty freaking relevant to what I'm going to be talking about in this video. The reason for the username change is, one, I have freaking loved making anime videos for the last year, but as much as I still love anime and as much as I still want to make anime content, I kind of missed what I used to do, which is kind of reviews of anything and everything. And I've decided that my brand is just going to be nerdy content in general. So I will talk about anime, video games, TV, movies, basically anything nerdy that I want to talk about. Because as much as I loved anime, it was starting to make me kind of sad that I limited myself and I wasn't able to do videos on all of the things I love. So I'm going to be going back to that. Another reason why the username is changed to Jay the Nerd instead of, like Jesse the Nerd is because I recently came out as trans, female to male trans man. And so I'm going by a new name, which is Jace, with J for short. So I kind of switched my usernames on everything. And it's relevant to today's video because I'm going to be talking about the Don't Nod game, Tell Me Why. Which, if you don't know, Don't Nod made the famous Life is Strange game, Remember Me, Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange Before the... No, another company made Life is Strange Before the Storm, but they made a lot of really good games. And I've talked about them all on this channel before. And Tell Me Why is relevant to what I was saying earlier because Tell Me Why, one of the main characters, is a trans man named Tyler Ronan. And I wanted to talk about this game, not just because it was a great game in general, but because it's one of the first things ever to feature a trans male character. Trans people in general don't have enough representation in media and fiction and whatnot, but especially trans men. And it just made me really happy to feel seen in a game. While playing the game, I was still coming to terms with who I am and who I've always been, and honestly, I have this game to thank for finally coming to terms with who I am and being willing to come out and everything. Getting to play as Tyler and see Tyler so happy being who he is made me want that for myself. It gets everything so accurately. Like, it just, other trans men on YouTube have said the same thing, that it just feels so relatable and so real, and it just feels so good to be seen. And anyways, the game is about twins, Tyler and Allison Ronan, who, because of, and I'm going to be getting into spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers for the game, go and watch this video after if you played it, but anyway, the game is about these twins, Tyler and Allison Ronan, and there was an incident where Tyler felt threatened by their mom, and he always assumed that it was because he cut his hair, because that was the first thing that he did when he was a kid to kind of convey that he's male, to convey that he's trans. And when she saw the hair, she pointed a gun at him, and the mom was attacked in self-defense and she died. And because of this, Tyler and Allison are separated for 10 years, with Tyler going to like juvie and a detention center and whatnot, and Allison staying in Delos Crossing, Alaska, which, by the way, it takes place in Alaska, which is really cool. My fiance used to live there, so I know a lot about Alaska, and it's a gorgeous place. But anyway, they are separated, as I said, and Allison is adopted by the chief of police, Eddie, and she goes to live with him for 10 years while Tyler is in this juvie detention center place. And then they are reunited 10 years later because they are going to be preparing their childhood home to be sold. And so because of this, they're kind of having to relive the past, literally, because they realize that not only do they have a twin telekinetic ability to talk to each other in each other's heads, but they also have this ability to connect each other's minds and relive and see memories being recreated in front of them. So through doing this, they are able to piece together what actually happened in their childhood and confront it. And it's there's so many great things about being trans in this game. They do so well, and also they don't make it a game about a trans person or an LGBT person suffering, because so many LGBT and trans stories in fiction are all about them having a horrible life and being attacked. And while yes, those things do happen to trans people, they also are people who can live happy, fulfilling lives. And it was nice to see that while it's originally thought that the mom hurt him because of transphobia, it turns out not to be the case. And he ends up getting to live a really happy life with his sister, with his boyfriend, if you choose. And it's just such a positive portrayal of everything, and it just was so nice to see it not be a story of suffering, because as much as I liked Life is Strange 2, it was sad to me that they chose the suffering route every time in that game, and you never really got to be truly happy in that game. And it was nice to see a change of pace with that. They even did an FAQ page about the uses of transphobia and homophobia in the game. And while the FAQ did have spoilers, it was there to reassure people that they would not be too traumatized or triggered playing the game. It told you that the mom wasn't transphobic, that Tyler isn't dead named, or he is misgendered a few times in the first episode, but it's not very harsh, and then after that it doesn't happen again. So it was a way to prepare people so then they didn't have to spend the entire game being scared that Tyler was going to be attacked or misgendered or dead named, etc. And I think that was a really nice thing on their part. But overall, I really loved the game. Even the memory mechanic was super fun. I was worried that it would get old, but it didn't. It was really fun to see, to figure out things in the game and even solve puzzles based on looking at the past and looking at their memories. And it was just it was so great, and the environment was gorgeous, and all the characters were so well done, and they even consulted with actual trans people to make this game. And I just really freaking loved it. I don't know what else to say about it, except it is a beautiful game. I freaking loved it. I'm glad that they had happy endings, and I hope that they make more games in the future. I hope that trans people are in more games in the future and that it's done well. And the game just made me so happy, and I hope that you will play it and it'll make you happy too. So that's all I have for today. I will see you on Wednesday for another ReZero review. Bye!